out. But so here's my thought on the finish, Rami. I'll go into my thoughts here really quick. I thought coming in, Gunther was going to make Cena tap out because going in, I thought Cena from his perspective was like, I'm going to put someone over in the main event. Now you could say this is not a young guy. Obviously Gunther's in his late 30s. Now we did talk
this is like Patrick Ewing. Get the fuck out of here.
Post show. I liked the idea of Gunther being the real legend killer, where Gunther retired Goldberg, he retired John Cena, he will probably retire Brock Lesnar next year. I think he could even retire AJ Styles. Who knows? He could just retire everyone and be a real.
If it comes to like putting out legends like that, I would say like I'm not like brushing it off. I'm more so.
He was. I think Cena did.
Yeah.
I think Cena was cool with how
he was at peace. So would you say he's like a peacemaker?
Yeah, I did think it was funny. Hunter should be all good. Okay, but yeah, thank you, Black, on making sure we're good. But yeah, I think it was exactly what it was. I thought it was, again, I'm not the biggest Triple H person, but I don't think he would have had Cena losing without Cena's blessing. But I don't think he would have had Cena. He needed Cena's blessing, I think, for this booking as well. So I'm not trying to defend Triple H, but I'm also going to say here, I don't think this would have happened unless Cena also was perfectly.
It was like goddamn bad.
But I thought the finish, he definitely looked happy with what happened. Again, I don't think it's the greatest, most satisfying finish to a career. I still think we'll never top Sting's retirement match in AEW. I think that's like
never. That's what I kept thinking about. And here's my take. I think that the retirement match for Bryan Danielson truly was that Swerve Strickland match. Those two at all, like even though he fought Jack Perry and then he fought Jon Moxley afterwards at Wrestle Dream, I feel like when you really build off that true ending, it was that matchup between him and Swerve, because if he would have lost, I think that would have been the end right there. So that was at all three of those matches, it was all retirement moments, and I feel like the all-in one for Bryan Danielson really left a big smile on my face, because we heard the final countdown. We saw him win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the Men's World Championship, for the first time, and the only time. But like, it was such a good moment. But with Sting as well, like my God, like everything went perfect to plan for him to win, for him to have that perfect send off. And even he was like trying to push up, like I don't know, maybe I should put these guys over. And the Young Bucks were like, dude, you're fucking winning. There's no way around this. Like, you are the man. You're the icon. You're Sting. Like, I even remember as a kid, like my 10th birthday, I believe it was. Like 9th birthday it was, because I remember Backlash, Randy Orton, and Triple H. But I went to this Toys R Us and I was getting the blue steel cage and like a John Cena action figure. And the bagger there, this old man was saying, "Oh, you like wrestling?" And I'm just yapping my brains off. I think, of course, about how much I love wrestling. And then he was telling me about how Sting, the wrestler, of course, Sting, had lived a couple of blocks from where he did it out in California. And I was like, if I knew Sting was like one of my neighbors, I'd be like the biggest fanboy in the world. Like, yeah, Sting lives on my block, but like, of course, seeing Sting get that retirement match and get it the way that he did with his sons and with all those like beautiful moments in between, and just the extremeness of like even Darby Allin like jumping through. Wasn't that where he like died almost in a way like through the?
Yeah.
But what did he jump through again? Like the glass tables?
Yeah,
or like,
it was the glass. Yeah.
Like,
it was insane.
Like, my God, like I hate seeing that stuff, but I also love it as well. Like I love deathmatch wrestling, but it's also like, if I went through that, I don't know how my body would react. I don't know how I would react. I don't know if it would be like this pure quietness of just like, why did I do that? Or what the and then just like letting out the biggest fuck.
So I'll say this. I am not as offended by the finish. Gunther.
I'm not offended at the end. I'm sorry to cut you off. Just go on.
I don't need every person in wrestling to win or lose. I don't think it's a requirement to win or lose a final match. Like, it's whatever the person wants to do in the moment. I'm now like talking about Sting, for example. He told Tony, he's like, "Why are you putting the tag titles on us just for us to drop? Like, I don't want to win this match. Let the Bucks win there, keep the titles." And then Tony said, no, you're ending your career as tag team champions of Darby. And that meant something. Even though obviously they relinquished the titles, it didn't really matter. It was about, Tony wanted that specific thing. And again, as Corey has said, this is exactly what he wanted to do. Triple H, we've talked about it now a lot. Well, let's focus on it now to end our show here tonight. He got a lot of crap. He was getting booed, F off. He was getting FU chants. He was getting UF'd up chants. We just talked about on the post show. There were AEW chants. There were LA Knight chants. And Triple H, we already talked about it, acknowledged that a lot of people were going to be frustrated with the finish. Is going to take it on the chin. Do you think this will affect people? Because I saw casual people who never watched wrestling were not happy about the finish. Like celebrities were complaining about it. Do you think this hurts the company in any way? Like, I don't know. It was a weird ending where you don't normally see the boss, the person running the company booed. Like Vince McMahon, a week or even a day after being accused of what he was accused of, came back on SmackDown and got a huge, massive reaction, a very positive pop. That's Vince McMahon getting accused of that, right? Got a huge pop. It was very shocking to me that AEW show at a WWE show, AEW chants at a WWE show is wild in 2025. It's been so long since I've heard that. I told Rami that at the beginning of the show. I'm shocked there were AEW chants because that we've not heard that probably since like 2021, like even 2019 probably. Like it's been a while since we've heard AEW chants because the audiences have really separated, where it does feel like most people just don't prefer, choose one or the other. They don't really watch both. I watch both, but I don't know. It was a weird night for Triple H because he got massacred by the fans. Social media was bad when the match ended, like bad. Like it was a mixture of obviously people celebrating John Cena, but also they were chanting AEW to troll his bald ass. And he's playing into the Ricochet bald person getting booed. Yeah, sure. Corey, that's exactly what he was playing into. But Rami, were you surprised? Like, no matter, it's rare to see the booker of the show being booed on the show. Like, were you shocked that you heard that very like unanimous reaction from the fans following the show?
It's so much different in wrestling than it was back in like when we were kids and everything like that when we were young. Like I agree with like Kayla and everything. Like it's been so long since we've heard AEW chants at a show. And now that we're finally getting like look at today's show. AEW had like a coast to coast show. They had to wait till Butler and Providence had their college game, which was a great game. I don't watch college ball at all, but they went to double overtime. I was losing my mind. I was like, it was a great game. But then we get into AEW and we get Konosuke Takeshita versus Claudio Castagnoli in a draw. I was like, oh my god, that was amazing. And then we had this, the Sisters of Sin, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter having a pretty good match, and I think it's Josh Alexander versus Swerve Strickland to kick off the freaking show, and everybody just is feeling the love, feeling the energy. Like my little brother does not watch a lot of professional wrestling, so whenever he does tune in and whatnot, he just is like in awe and shock. I showed him this match. I was like, just tune in for a bit, see how you like this. And he grew up being a WWE fan, but lately it's more so like if he sees something on, he'll tune in for a bit and then probably like a little bit zone out. But like it happens. Well, a lot of us, some of us grew out of the phase of wrestling, some of us didn't.
Sure.
But when he's able to watch these events and he's seeing Josh Alexander and Swerve Strickland put on this freaking banger of a match to start off the show, and the way that they're wrestling, the way that they're finishing matches, it's great. When you see the main event being Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kevin Knight, two best friends who have respect for each other, and in the way that they built the matchup to don't hold your punches back. I know you respect me, but I know you're gonna hurt me. So go right ahead and do your worst. And same thing with Konosuke and Claudio Castagnoli. Like, my God, that match was so freaking intense. And the 20-minute time limits that we get with it. And then what we saw this past Wednesday with Kyle Fletcher and Speedball Mike Bailey. Like, there's so many different attributes to what AEW is putting out that when fans are like, they fucked up again with WWE, they keep fucking up, they keep, adding on the worst things. Like, for example, SummerSlam end with John Cena abruptly turning face that weekend because the
Yeah,
Rock storyline never panned out right, and then he loses to Cody Rhodes, and the first thing they do is bring back the Predator, Brock Lesnar, and then we're like, what else are we supposed to do besides boo that? And
yeah.
they booed it right after the show. You and I were talking about that and
We
everything, so
broke
they were
down
booing.
Yeah, yep, WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, we broke down WrestlePalooza. Did we break down SummerSlam as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we broke that down. 5,000 people coming in and voicing their displeasure for what they saw. There was so much 50-50 of people like, yeah, and then people who have an actual brain and common sense were like, no, and they got booed there. They got disapproval, and then as months go on, this this run went from being like, oh, this is John Cena's final run, and then they found ways to just make it worse and worse and worse. Like losing the Royal Rumble to Jey Uso was already like the worst thing you could have done, and we're like, so you ruined his chances of tying Stone Cold Steve Austin for the most Royal Rumble wins, and then going to WrestleMania, beating Cody Rhodes, and then becoming the only never seen 17-time, WWE champion. All of that ruined because oh, we have a different idea. People won't be able to predict this. There's a reason why we don't want to predict that because that sounds like shit. And then we got it, and then we didn't like it. And then they were like, oh my God, why doesn't anybody like this? Because when we know what we want, when we see a final season coming up, look at Tom Brady, what he said. He did not win his final game. He lost to the Los Angeles Rams, one of the
yeah.
greatest teams of all time. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
But he had a great, career.
Yeah,
All those rings, all those championships. The year prior, I believe he won the championship and he wanted to do a repeat and whatnot. So it's understandable, when it came to like Tom Brady losing the game. It was understandable with Michael Jordan came to losing his game, when he was entering the later stages of his career. Kobe Bryant was on the worst season and
yeah. Corey's
record.
a Bucks fan, Rami. Corey's a Bucks fan. Now we're bringing up sour moments for Corey now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but like you see like with like Kobe Bryant in his final game, he had 60 plus points, 65 plus points, and like the most awe-inspiring moment ever, him betting $50,000 or $500,000 on the sidelines with shots to make the free throws, him making them, and just we got to see that last moment of Kobe Bryant's career and like him, have that big farewell salute. I would have loved to have that with Cena, and I feel like that would have been a big, good because no matter what, even if Gunther loses, you still had that final match against Cena. Even at the end of the day, you win or you lose, I don't mind.
I
It's
see
just
both
professional
sides of it.
wrestling.
Is the truth. I do see
I
both sides of
you
it.
can see both sides of where it's fan satisfaction. We want to be satisfied with the end product, with the guy who told us never give up. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is never give up. So when we see him lose, we're like, this is the streak all over again. You had the perfect moment to have something so perfect and so unique within this wrestling company that, yeah, I'm trying to fight to be undefeated at WrestleMania. I'm trying to fight to be a 18-time World Heavyweight Champion. I'm trying to do all these things. And then you see those moments and we're like, it really leaves a sour taste in the mouth right now. And then when we remember in the future, we'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
that happened because they just didn't want to give us fan satisfaction and they didn't want us let us have a happy moment at the end of the day.
Yep. This was an interesting decision. It will be a very memorable decision. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is going to somehow turn the ratings war or turn the war around, but I will say this. It is a big opportunity for AEW because a lot of people are going to be pissed off about this match. Like just angry, so angry. They might not want, who knows? We'll see how the ratings look for Netflix on Monday, but fascinating situation. I was really, really, really shocked how unanimously pissed off this crowd was of the finish of the match. And
Yeah, man.
they were
We
just
just did not want to give up.
they were really angry that the guy who said never give up tapped to end his career. I thought it was a really good line by Michael Cole, which I appreciated. He said, pro wrestling beat sports entertainment. I thought that was a really good line because Gunther is the wrestler's pro wrestler, ultimate. And I thought that was a really good line. I am not going to lose sleep over Gunther tapping out John Cena. I'm not at this point. People are, but I am not.
I'm gonna watch the Marine tonight and say that's my guy.
Now Gunther will have heat probably forever now for this match.
Yeah.
While it's not
yeah.
obviously he had no idea.
Dude,
He didn't have
this is I think this is gonna be the equivalent like in a good way as well. Like because like at the end of the day, you beat the guy. You ended his career. You made him tap out. This is like when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and then that next Monday Night Raw, they were chanting "Fuck you, Roman," like for freaking 5-6 minutes straight.
I would do the same thing. Gunther come out, start on Monday, and say nothing, and just listen to the crowd chanting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just drop it like I was the guy that made your hero tap out, and I'm coming after the men's World Heavyweight Championship by winning the Royal Rumble. Like he already have like a full set schedule because he doesn't have to challenge for the title. Because if Braun Breaker's like, oh, I'm waiting till the first Monday Night Raw, you guys can fight for the scraps. I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble, and then I will be ready for April 18th or 19th, whichever date to fight for the heavyweight championship, which I don't think is going to happen. I feel like such a great story would be if, Gunther's about to win the Rumble and then he gets eliminated by Ilya Dragunov, and then you get him to do a SmackDown versus Raw type of battle between him and Dragunov, where if he wins the the United States Championship, he moves over to SmackDown. If he doesn't, he stays on Monday Night Raw. I like those type of, interpromotional brand matches. Like one of my favorite ones was Umaga, or sorry, as William Regal used to say, Umanga, against Batista at WrestleMania 24. That's my first WrestleMania I watched live. John Cena fought Randy Orton and Triple H for the WWE Championship. I wasn't a really big fan of the end, and a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, it's one of the best endings. It's such a good match." I'm like, not really, not so much. But still, John Cena getting that trumpet, college university, introduction and everything. Yeah, before he made his entrance, Triple H, Randy Orton, before he changed the voices by Rev Theory, he used "Burning My Light" by Mercy Drive, which is such a beautiful damn song. Like, bring it back, goddamn it.
Here we go. We also have, Kayla here saying, I went into it believing Cena was going to lose, so I was not shocked, but I am shocked at how shocked and angry people are. I 1,000% agree with you, Kayla. Like, I went into the match trying to tell people, because I am friends with a lot of just Cena diehards. I said, Gunther is going to win this match. And they were like, no way, they would never end Cena's career like that. I said, Gunther is going to win this match. And I was unsurprised by the finish. I agree with you, Kayla. I am so surprised how turned off the fans are by the booking. Like WWE booking was so bad for so long. Even fans sometimes weren't that vocal about it until it got too late. You know what I mean? Like it took until like an AEW starting for people to really be outward and complaining about.
Yeah, because it's a lot of regurgitated bullshit we were dealing with. It was like the big dog, the big dog, the big dog, and then
since that WrestleMania 40,
during that timeline. Sorry, during that timeline, a lot of even WWE wrestlers were trying to like mimic what New Japan was doing. Like we had Seth Rollins coming out and doing like the ripcord knee in a way of like the V trigger and like the Rainmaker, and we're like, okay, so, and when AEW finally got this, announced, everybody was like, okay, what's this gonna become? And as the years progressed, a lot of people in the comments, or a lot of people around the world would be like, I don't like this company. I love this company. I love it. It's for the sickos. It's for the freaking for professional wrestling fans, and we're all gonna love and enjoy it. My only gripe with WWE lately has really been just the inconsistent. Not really. My only gripe. I'm like saying like when it comes to like watching this every single week on TV. It's the inconsistent booking, because there's so much talent there, and there's so much like you watch 2002 SmackDown all the way to 2008, and everything's so fluid with the booking. You got everybody wanting to have a shot at the world title. Hulk Hogan won it for barely a month. Said, with the things that are going on today, brother, with 911 and all that other stuff. He said that like, wow, crazy, to The Undertaker, to The Rock, and they build it off to the Predator Brock, and then later on to Big Show, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero. Like
Yeah.
there was so many different world champions we saw during that crazy span of years, and it's always so entertaining. What is the problem with WWE trying to replicate that nowadays and not being able to because they have no, they have no plate vision. You're stuck at, the plate trying to hit a bomb. It's the bottom of the ninth. You need a walk off, and you're not able to do that. And
Yeah.
they'll say in the first, like, before the season starts, you're an MVP caliber player. And yeah, WWE are like with the wrestlers they have and the matches they produce, we always see some crazy bangers, like Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium, the tag team division with DIY and the Street Profits,
Now Dragunov.
um,
Yeah.
and Dragunov as well, and carrying on the spirit of Sami Zayn and his United States challenge that was carried on from John Cena as well. Like Cena was trying to find ways to make Raw interesting 10 years ago, so he decided to do the United States challenge and keep us going. 10 years later, and they're trying to find ways to make SmackDown interesting. And this is minus the last night's main event because, of course, people were dealing with, family losses and personal, problems and everything like that. So I'm not gonna, come after that. But when it comes to main event booking on Raw and when it comes to booking on SmackDown, a lot of disqualifications, and people get turned away from that. They're like, what are we gonna do next? See the next week of Raw, Braun Breaker comes out. I want a match against anybody in the back. Jey Uso comes out. We saw so much of the same match between those two that we just got completely turned away from it. And now when we see this event get booked up of this is the last time is now. Whether he wins or he loses, at the end of the day, if he would have won, I'd been like, man, hell yeah, brother. He loses, I'm like, man, hell no, brother. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna affect me. I'm gonna sleep beautifully in my bed later tonight and everything. I'm gonna enjoy myself tomorrow watching football, and I'm still gonna carry around like my favorite memories of John Cena. I think
Yeah.
that
Sorry, you keep going.
I think that the worst thing is that the the fans see it once again as a like no legend gets a proper actual good send off because it feels so rushed. Like 30, 40 dates you only get out of the year. We're not gonna really book you so well. Travis Scott's not gonna show up. The Rock's not gonna show up. Like imagine saying those sentences with John Cena's last year. Who says that? It's like, oh man, it sucks that, like let's say like 1998. I don't really know what kind of legend I could really talk about. Let's say Dusty Rhodes. Man, Dusty Rhodes is retiring. It really sucks that Tupac and Biggie aren't here. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like, there's not a single person who thinks of like, oh yeah, we need a celebrity to incorporate their, thing into, a wrestler's final year. Like The Rock in his final year didn't say. I mean, before that, we're not gonna incorporate like talk about Flow Rider, even though that was a great build. Like Flow Rider and MGK at the time,
Oh
pretty good
my
build.
god.
Um, what? You're not a wild one? You don't have a good feeling about this? Come on
I
now,
like
pal.
Flo
Like,
Rida's music, but I'm not a Cena person, so those two matches are not ones I think are that good. But I will say we're gonna start wrapping things up because this is our longest post show that Rami and I have done, but we deserve it because we do think it's our final one for WWE in 2025.
It's the last time I'm going to see you, babe. You know what I mean?
I know.
We're gonna be so long before I see you. Like,
I know it's
golly,
going to be another month because we'll do
divorced, man.
no, there's no divorce. I think it's just a 1 month break. Rami, we're okay. It's a 1 month breather from each other.
I gotta get out of here.
But we're going to be back in 2026 because we have Saturday night's main event and then my usual favorite pay-per-view of the year, the Royal Rumble, January 31st. Sadly, it's in Saudi Arabia, but the good news with that, Rami, we're going to be here early during the day.
You say that's a good thing?
I do. I like day wrestling. I do. I like wrestling being over at 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. It's gonna be over for you at what, maybe 3 p.m. And I'm gonna have to be awake at 6 or 9
I know, you're
a.m.
right.
Like, brother.
I forget the time difference. It's fine for me because it's a noon start
Man.
time, but 9 a.m. for you is going to be something else on January 31st.
I mean, we did it for the Aussie show, so that was fun.
That was earlier.
About John and AJ. Yeah, that was a pretty early show and everything. I don't know how I stayed awake during that whole thing because like I was falling asleep almost towards the end of it. Like no offense to anybody, but like post show.
That was a 9 a.m. a 9 a.m. start. It was a 6 a.m. your time. So but guess what? It'll be later. I just want to, before we wrap up, just thank everyone, because Rami and I have been now doing this for like 6 months now, doing these post shows.
Yeah,
for
dude.
WWE, and now it's as amazing. We consistently get well over 1,000 people joining us for these post shows, which truly means the world to both of us. So thanks for everyone who enjoy Rami and I covering all things WWE and our post shows, because we have a great time talking wrestling together. And we had so many people joining us tonight in chat. Dawson, Brian, Matthew, Derry, we had Corey, we had Kayla. So thanks for everyone who joined us in chat. But Rami, let's wrap things up. Where can people find you on social media and Body Slam in general?
I just want to give a shout out to Kayla, Dawson, and Brian. I expeditionally love all of them so much. So very, very happy that they tuned in and they got some comments in and everything. Like, Dawson with his Cliff Corner Copeland, that's the inside joke of ours, because we're like, how can we make Edge, his debut at AEW be something different? And Cliff Corner Copeland are all different things for Edge. So no Sexton Hardcastle here, so we got to think of something. But like, you can find me on my socials at Who Else But Rami on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on most of those places and whatnot. Blue Sky as well. Like, Blue Sky is pretty fun. I don't really post a lot of things. I don't really yap a lot. But it's so it what do you call it? But whenever I do, of course it's just a big yap. Like, recently I said that the song "Let It Rock" by Kevin Rudolph and Lil Wayne would get a turtle hyped up like he did a line of coke before a boxing tournament. Like, it's the truth though. Let It Rock. Like, have you ever heard "Let It Rock" by Kevin Rudolph and Lil Wayne? You get hyped off of it. You're like, brother, you start breakdancing and everything. I can see breakdancing. But anyways, you can find me on Who Else But Rami on all my socials and everything. Thank you so much to everybody who tunes in. We will see you in 2026. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something different, of course. Like, new year, new goals, new everything. So I cannot wait to see how 2026 unfolds for all of us, because we're going to be doing all the WWE post shows, whether it's, the pay-per-views on the main roster, whether it's a Saturday Night main event, whether it's any of these like different, type of events, and even maybe might do some, come together breaking news, because a lot of things can happen in 2026. So I'm very, very excited for it. I'm so happy that, you and I have been able to do this for past couple of months and whatnot. I am thankful for you. I didn't get to see it in November, but thankful for you, of course. Thankful for everybody at Body Slam. Thankful for all of the opportunities, of course, that I've been able to get. Cannot wait to see how 2026 comes, because it's gonna be huge. So of course, follow me on all my socials if you want to hear any of my stupid shebangs, or any of my baba booies, or any of the dumbest that I say.
All the above.
There's so much. There's so much. But of course, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, Kayla loves Rami as well. How can you not love Rami? He's just an easy, lovable guy. Come on. I mean, but yeah, because Rami and I have had to cover a lot of shows, controversial shows, as well. So it's been an honor to go through it all.
O.J. Simpson in the Bronco.
Well, we've been covering WWE so long. That was our first show together, obviously. But if you want to follow us, please follow Body Slam across all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and X. That really means a lot. We post videos. We have people now who cover the show. So in case you're missing Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, we have people, live tweeting the show to make sure you're covered on the shows. Yeah. I do highs and lows every single day of the week, covering Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, and Collision. I'm not done though doing post shows this year, because 2 weeks from now is AEW World's End. So Blackhawk will be on the post show with me doing AEW World's End.
If you guys need a third right there, please. Like, I would love to get in on the action, because they announced Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander for World's End.
And
Chicago
Joe versus Hangman versus Swerve. So we got a triple threat. So
look what I'm wearing already. Chicago representing everything like that. So I'm already trying to step my approval there. Blackhawk, let me in.
Yeah. Maybe Rami, we're not done for 2025, but
maybe we're not done.
For sure, Blackhawk and I will be doing that post show. Also, Blackhawk and I have a podcast called Tour of Japan. We've been off for the last couple of weeks because there just simply isn't enough news for us to be covering for a full hour podcast, but we're going to be back for sure, 1,000%. Blackhawk and I will be back this Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern. New Japan World Tag League Finals are tomorrow morning. So we're gonna break down. We're gonna break down.
I'm so heartbroken.
Why
did Yuto Ice and Oscar Loop lose?
Because they're the champions. I don't need the champions winning these tournaments.
Screw that.
And I'll say it, Gabe Kidd, my wrestler of the year. My wrestler of the year is Gabe Kidd. So I'm all in on Gabe Kidd. So but if you want to hear us,
he's a madman.
You want to hear me talk about Gabe Kidd and New Japan Pro Wrestling. We talk New Japan, Noah, Marigold, Stardom every single Friday from 7 to 8 Eastern here on bodyslam.net. Also, please subscribe. You can see the link below me. Last thing I'll promote, the Patreon. It really will help turn everyone working for Body Slam into a full-time job. So please, everyone, if you want pro wrestling news at the fingertips, that's how you get it. Corey Hayes breaks some of the best news in pro wrestling on our Patreon. We break news every single week. So please subscribe to our Patreon. We'll help everyone here who works at bodyslam.net. For the final time, at least for WWE side of things for 2025, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys in 2026. Thank you, everyone.